With the recent presentation drop for Air Riders, Sakurai left us with a whole lot to digest. First off, thanks to him, his team, and Bandai Namco for finally bringing us a sequel. That 20-year itch will finally be scratched. I made a video, I believe, earlier this year, if not last year, on some of the expectation and improvements that I wanted in an Air Ride sequel, and they, for the most part, have exceeded those expectations. I do have some gripes about certain aspects in the game, but I'll go over those later in this quick overview where I'll share the main pros and cons. If you haven't seen the presentation, then I highly recommend it since this video may not fully do it justice. The main pro that I have to mention first were the improvements to the Air Ride aspect since it was sorely needed. Yes, the game shined heavily with its city trial mode, but Kirby Air Ride, or pretty much the city trial mode, became an example of being a diamond in the rough, with the other modes being the rough aspect of the game. So taking the time to flesh that part out was a must for this game. How Sakurai went about this was by having more playable characters with their own unique traits, attacks, and can utilize the copy ability. Yes, you heard me right. Sakurai said F the lore and let the other characters essentially utilize Kirby's copy ability via wearing their respective cap by absorbing them. Oh, and that's not even the end of it. Every character has a special move that they can use when their special meter fills up. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a more complex meta compared to the first game. Also, Kirby gets 4 different special moves because, you know, the typical MC treatment. Anyways, the game offers up to 16 players with only up to 8 being human players, which is a sweet spot for me. I know there are others that would disagree with that sentiment and would want a massive player count, but with some of the feedback that Mario Kart World is getting, I think Sakurai made the right decision. Alright, it's time I talk about the main thing that we've all been looking forward to, and that is the city trial mode, and boy do they do a damn good job with it. There wasn't too many things that was added as far as we know, but the stuff that were are some great and needed addition. The thing that stuck out the most were those mini stadium matches that can happen during city trial and will net you more patches depending on your placement. A nice way to keep you engaged and also to boost your ride. Kinda mixed that you can use your special abilities during those events, but I digress. Oh, and forgot to mention it, but you can also use the characters other than Kirby in this mode, so another plus for this game. There's also this little codex thingamahoogie that will give you a hint about the stadium match after city trial, though you gotta be attentive to what you're reading since some of those codex will give out false info. Psych! The last thing that will add as a good addition is that there is an option to where we can actually vote on the stadium matches that you want to play. So you can pretty much effectively pick an advantageous match or sabotage your biggest threat by choosing a match that they're not built for. I know some friendships are going to be tested with this one, so yeah, buckle up. Now on to what I felt were a bit of a miss for me, and that's Sakurai's insistence on the whole one button control mindset. Though I will say this, he did give a bit of a leeway, and now we have 2 buttons, not 1 but 2, so I guess take what we can get. But yeah, that mindset, it really does, in my personal opinion, it does kind of bring down the game. It could be changed this time around since the team did rework certain mechanics so that the controls wouldn't feel cumbersome, such as this time around having that special ability button, and in City Trial, since you can't use it during the City Trial itself unless you're in a stadium match, you can swap to a vacant air ride upon impact once you press that button. Only time will tell, but for now it's still a con for me. The other issue for me is that I believe Sakurai mentioned at some point in the presentation that impacts from attacks are minor. If it's anything like the first game, then it makes you wonder why you would even want to attack your opponents when all you're doing is slowing yourself down to activate an ability and try to slightly inconvenience the player ahead of you. The impact should be, well, impactful. Though with the option to be able to knock people out of the race, I guess this may not be that bad, but I still don't see it as a good thing. The game still looks like a must-buy for any fans of the first one. It looks like it still has the fun chaos that we've enjoyed in the past while adding some new flavors into the mix. And jumping from GameCube visuals to the Switch 2, this game looks beautiful. For the people that lives in the States, it will launch at $69.99 US on November 20th of this year, so we're almost there to finally play this long-awaited sequel. Leave your thoughts down below on how you feel about Kirby Air Riders and the presentation. Again, I strongly recommend checking it out since I know there are some things that I didn't cover. That's the end of this video. I'll catch you fine folks later.